Hey, it's Teresa from Life Beyond Diabetes. And oh my gosh, you guys, I did the craziest thing. Well, maybe it's not super crazy, but I went live about an hour ago. So excited because I did my Facebook Live telling you all about the diabetes conference that I went to on Friday. And then I realized I went live in my group that I'm going to be talking about in a minute instead of on the page. So speaking of the group, please join the group. I'm going to put a link in the comments below. I'd love for you to join if you are a woman with prediabetes or with type 2 diabetes. That's where we get into the nitty-gritty, talk about what life is like with diabetes. I'm doing some Facebook Lives in there. They get a lot more personal. The things I do here on the page, informational, I do talk about diabetes, but we get pretty real over there. So I would love for you to join if you are a woman with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes and you're looking for some support and looking to talk about diabetes. So please come join us over in that group. Anyway, so I did this live already. You get to hear it again if you join the group. But I was talking about this diabetes symposium that I went to on Friday. And it was an all-day conference about diabetes. And I'll tell you, when I go to these conferences, a lot of times I go into it kind of thinking, oh, geez, another conference. I'm so tired of going to yet another diabetes conference or another obesity medicine conference. What am I going to learn this time? Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Okay, I haven't ever actually bought a t-shirt, but you know what I mean. Anyway, every single time I come home excited because I've learned something new, something that I want to share, and this time was no exception. So this week I'm going to be going live every day on this page if I can get it right, which I'm expecting to because made the mistake today. Hopefully we'll get it right every day the rest of the week. I'm going to be going live every day on this page at 3 o'clock. And I'm going to be sharing the things that I learned at the conference, or at least some of them, kind of get going a little bit deep into a few of those topics. So I'm going to share with you right now what some of those topics are going to be. And then also over on in the Facebook group, I'm going to be touching on some of those on the personal topics. So some of those things that struck me a little bit more personally, or if there's any topics that anybody in the group really wants me to touch a little bit more on, I'll go live over in the group as well. Maybe not every day, but when it seems appropriate. So definitely, again, if you've got type 2 diabetes or prediabetes and you're a woman, hop right into that group and we'll go a little deeper into some of those topics. But let me just tell you what I've got on tap for this week over here on this page. On Monday, we're going to talk a little bit about the environmental and cultural factors that have led to our epidemic of diabetes and obesity here in the U.S. and around the world. There's a lot of shame and blame associated with these, but what we don't take into consideration is how the changes in our culture have led to some of these medical problems that we're having. Tuesday, we're going to talk a little bit about sleep and the effects that sleep have on our on insulin resistance and on type 2 diabetes. I was interested to learn that the timing of our food in relation to the timing of sleep has an effect on how our body processes the food. It's pretty amazing. So I learned a lot about sleep and insulin resistance and diabetes. On Wednesday, I'm going to talk about prediabetes and the importance of getting prediabetes under control as soon as we can so that we can prevent some of the long-term complications of diabetes. And just some of the information that I learned about prediabetes and how we can get that under control. Thursday, I'm going to talk about continuous glucose monitoring. Now, traditionally, continuous glucose monitoring has been used for people with insulin resistance. I'm sorry, not with insulin resistance, people who are on insulin. I lost my train of thought. I'm intrigued there. We're starting to use it now clinically to help educate people about how how the lifestyle choices they're making and the food choices they're making affect what happens with their blood sugar. And so it's being used as an educational tool in clinical practice. I'm excited that I'm going to be starting adding continuous glucose monitor as a tool in my clinical practice. So I'm really excited about that. On Friday, I'm going to be talking about the new American Association of Diabetes nutritional guidelines that have just come out within the last month or two. And the American Diabetes Association has historically not endorsed a low carbohydrate way of eating as approved for people with diabetes. Although I have long taught that as a way and seen fantastic results in my patients with diabetes. So I'm excited to delve in a little bit into those guidelines that have changed a little bit, the American Diabetes Association. On Saturday, we're going to be talking a little bit about bariatric surgery and using bariatric surgery as a tool for treating type 2 diabetes. On Sunday, we're going to loop back around, talk a little bit more about those environmental factors and cultural factors and some of the shame and blame associated with diabetes. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm going to cover next week. So as I'm talking about these things, I want to know what you want to know next week. So if I'm covering something and you want to know more about it, I didn't cover it enough during the little few minutes that we had during Facebook Live on every day, tell me and I'll get you more information next week. I'll answer the questions as best as I can. So every day at 3 o'clock this coming week, I will be here with some information for you. So looking forward to seeing you through the coming week, and hopefully I'll be getting it to the right page every day. See you this week. Bye.